Today's episode is on Darius Leonard, star linebacker of the Indianapolis Colts. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is he going to be broke after his playing days, or is he going to be well off financially?
What's up, everybody? I'm Darius Leonard. Welcome to my home. And this is how I spent in the
What I noticed right away is that this is his home. It looks like a rural area, but also you love the gym behind him. It gets the sense that this guy has been working hard at his home. You know, it's like in the off season, he's putting in work.
I'm from a small town called Lakeview, South Carolina, where we have 0 stoplights, 0 restaurants. It just taught you how to go out and make things on your own, you know.
Go out and make things on your own. I'm telling you, you can see right away that this is probably a really hard worker, a guy that has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, from a small town, went to a small school. By the time he got to the NFL, he probably had something to prove that he knew he could play with the big boys. Let's see if that affects his spending at all.
I started working at a golf course, and then once I started to realize that I had a chance to, to go play on the next level in college, I started my own car wash business, so I had time to sit there and watch cars, but I still had enough time, to work out and stuff.
Didn't take long to figure out who this guy was. Working as an early teen, he was playing football where he knew he could go to college, but then he started a car wash. He was a business owner. I would actually love to dive into that. I wish the episode would have gone a little further to see a little more details, but clearly this is a guy that knows hard work. He's going to put in the work necessary to get to the next level, and I'm sure that's why he's been successful so far.
All I did was work all day, every day. My brother, Anthony Waters, he got drafted in the 3rd round by the Chargers, and then he went to the Saints and won the Super Bowl there.
He's pretty fortunate that he had the older brother play in the NFL. I imagine that his older brother's experience helped shape into Darius, who he is today, because not only from the work ethic and what it takes to get to that level, but also his brother played 3 seasons. He won the Super Bowl, so he reached the pinnacle, but only playing 3 seasons, he probably didn't earn much, and so Darius had a good idea of how quickly your career can end in the NFL is my guess. And so going into the NFL, he probably had a better mindset than other athletes, knowing that it could end any day.
You can see the details of my rookie contract right here.
4 years, a little over $7 million. That's probably probably 1.2 million, 1.1 million after taxes per year. But you can see that the base salary increases. And the reason why I bring this up is because some of these guys, you can see the number that they're going to make 7.2, but if they have a terrible rookie season, they get injured or something bad happens and they're a 3rd or 4th round pick, they might not get that 3rd or 4th season. And teams will do this where they ramp the salary up by the 3rd or 4th year because it's less risk on their part. And so thankfully Darius earned it, and he's going to earn a big paycheck.
I had to get a financial advisor first, because I knew me. Now that you have money, you're like, oh man, I'm about to go get everything that I wished, I dreamed of. And the financial advisor was like, oh, you better pump your brakes.
Pump your brakes, Darius. See, then this is the problem with maybe it's an American culture, maybe it's just what happens when you start making a lot of money, but you can clearly see it's just the second he signed a deal, he's immediately thinking about spending, and thankfully the financial advisor says pump your brakes. Now, I don't know how good the financial advisor is, because this whole episode is him spending $1 million on consumer items for a guy that isn't exactly making a lot of money that first year. Remember, it's the year 3 and then year 4 where he starts making the millions. Year 1 base salary was only $480,000. In this episode is him spending $1 million. So at that tax level, you need to earn $2 million to be able to spend the $1 million he's going to talk about.
Save my salary and spend all endorsements.
Great. This is an awesome idea that has been perpetuated past few years. Marshawn Lynch, Rob Gronkowski, most notorious. I have a feeling this is becoming more common among athletes. So that's really good that his financial advisor told him to live off endorsements. I wasn't able to find any information on endorsements for Darius. I don't think he's making $1 million a year on endorsements. That's pretty, that's like best case scenario if you're a rookie, I imagine. Plus he's a linebacker. He's not exactly a quarterback face, if you will. Like, he's not the face of the franchise. So I am curious how much he's making off endorsements. That's a great idea. However, this whole episode is him spending $1 million. So I don't know if he's actually applying what the financial advisor said.
You had a little bit of debt, right?
Oh yeah. South Carolina State, they offered me a partial scholarship. I had to pay for school a little bit.
Your school debt, did you pay it back once you got paid by the NFL?
I'm actually still paying it off. I don't want to just go ahead and just pay it off. I'm trying to build that credit.
Of course, he was a small school kid. He didn't even get a full scholarship. So this guy has a chip on his shoulder. That's probably why when he gets to the NFL, he tore it up from day one. This guy's probably one of the hardest workers in the locker room. However, I disagree with not paying off the school debt to build up your credit. At a guy like that, with that much cash, he's spending, as you'll see, he's going to spend money on jewelry and outfits and cars, multiple cars. Having debt the school loan debt is, I don't know what his interest rate is. Let's call it 6 or 7%. Well, he's paying interest on that debt. I think it would have been much smarter for him to pay off the debt as opposed to buying the consumer items, and that would help his credit much more than what he's currently doing.
First thing I bought with my money was, I'm a country boy, so I had to get me a pickup truck. Ford F-250, big diesel. Jack it up and put some big mud tires on it. Truck with modifications, $80K.
Wow, $80,000 truck. If you're not from the Southeast, I grew up in Georgia, where I lived in high school. It is rural just like this. They love their trucks. It's something you don't know until you live there. But $80,000 on a truck, that's a lot of money. I hope he loves it.
I bought Mama a Mercedes C-Class. That ran me for about $35,000.
Not bad. See, $35,000 for a car, and I bet his mom still loves him. A few of the previous episodes, they buy like $150,000 cars, and everyone in the comments is like, Spencer, let them buy their mom whatever vehicle they want. You can get a super nice car for $30,000 to $50,000, and your mom will still love you.
I bought 2 cars at one time. When I bought my mama's, I bought another AMG Mercedes Coupe for myself. I had to. I mean, I needed a big boy, and I needed something smooth that I could swerve through traffic in. Second car for myself.
I like how he says he needs the smaller car. He's got this truck. He's already got one vehicle, and then he has to have the Mercedes. So now we're at $60K and $80K, $140,000 on vehicle. And I think he was spending this money before his rookie season, if I'm not mistaken. So he's starting to spend a lot of money for a guy that hasn't quite earned it all just yet.
What did your financial advisor say when you started buying cars?
Yeah, it was like you gotta slow down. You gotta make some plays on the field first. My net stake was pretty big. I had a wedding to pay for next.
See, his financial advisor even said that he is spending a lot of money before he makes plays on the field, leading me to believe that he is spending this money before his rookie season.
Next purchase I had, the wedding came out to be probably $100,000. Man, it was worth it.
$100,000 wedding. Again, at that tax level, $100,000 means $200,000 of earnings. So it doesn't cost $100,000. It really cost you $200,000. I hope that wedding was really worth it.
There, it was on the beach. It was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. A lot of friends, a lot of family.
I've been to Myrtle Beach a few times. It's a nice area.
I mean, I can't complain.
What's really tough about these athletes, though, is this data shows that the number one way that they go broke after their playing days is by getting divorced. It's just bizarre to me to spend $100,000 on a wedding.
So I said, this is your dream wedding. Just go ahead and do what you want to do. And just let me know when to pull up. Let me know when I need to get fitted for my suit.
I love how guys are so simple. He probably could have had a wedding like in the back of his truck with a $500 suit, but $100,000 was all for the woman. I really hope he stays married for life. I mean, the data shows that athletes get divorced quite common. It's very, very likely that it will result in that. So like the idea of spending $100,000 on marriage, on a wedding, to me is absolutely insane, especially when you're not quite worth millions of dollars just yet.
I love putting on a suit. I love putting on suits. I love to look good that way. So I probably spent maybe $800 to $1,000 every week that we had to dress up on away trips. Game day fits.
I don't think this is a bad expense for a professional athlete. These guys have to be in front of the media. They show up. They're representing the NFL. They're representing their organization, and they're representing themselves. $12,000 isn't much for outfit, and it looks like he dresses really well. One thing I am curious about, though, is that he spent $12,000 on clothing, and yet he couldn't afford jeans that don't have holes right in the crotch area. Jewelry, my favorite section.
I definitely got me some chains. My chains probably came out to probably $75K altogether.
$75,000.
I'm not a big guy who have the big Cuban and stuff.
I'm not a big guy who's got the Cuban, but spends $75,000.
I keep mine very simple. I just can't force myself to spend that much money.
I like to keep it simple. I can't force myself to spend that much money, but spent $75,000 on jewelry.
On jewelry.
Blows my mind.
That's actually,
I guess $75,000 isn't much. I mean, to me, I don't spend any money on jewelry. It's $75,000 before you've made it in the NFL.
So I wear it every day.
I don't know. That's just it's tough to stomach because again, it's $150,000 of earnings to spend $75,000 on jewelry.
Custom chains, $75K. My next big purchase, gotta take care of Mom Dukes.
It's a big help that he lives in Lakeview and wants to go live there. You don't need much money to live a nice life in Lakeview, South Carolina.
The land was $60K. Was that 230?
$230,000 for a house for mom. That's nothing. The property taxes there are probably really low. Insurance really low.
Awesome land for my mom, $230K.
Yeah, that's not a big expense. Much different than Dwayne Haskins buying a house that costs 3 or 4 times that.
I do a maniac day for the kids. Then I throw, all my all-white party. So paying DJ, building, food. I probably spent $20K on parties and my maniac day for the kids.
That's really cool of him to spend
Parties.
20 grand on parties, builds community, especially a guy that comes back. He's from there, comes back when he's obviously making money in the NFL. It's cool that he puts these events together. This is just an example, though, that I want you guys to always keep in mind with these athletes, how easy it is to spend money. These episodes are really cool to see behind the scenes and to let you see, how they spend their money. And sometimes you don't really get a good idea of how they're really spending. We look at jewelry and cars, but they can go back home and spend 20 grand on a party.
My wife car. I bought her GLE 43 Mercedes. A Range Rover was her dream car. We've been together for 10 years. She's probably been talking about it for 5 years. So I had to surprise her with something that she's really been, wanting for since she was a kid. The difference I had to pay for the Range Rover was $40K. I drove the AMG to the Range Rover dealership and got her a Range Rover.
It's a little concerning that he spent $70,000 on a Mercedes and then drove the Mercedes over to the Range Rover dealership and then spent another $40,000. So he spent $110,000. But to me, when I hear you went out and spent $70,000 on a car and then you I'll just go buy the other one, I don't sense that he put some thought into it, which is concerning. When athletes have a lot of money, they can spend money really quickly, and that's what you're seeing.
Since I'm not here all the time, I literally just purchased me 15 acres here in Lakeview. About to get me a small trailer there until I get ready to build my house. So
that's pretty cool. Going back home, building a house in his hometown for him and his wife. It's a great idea. I am curious if he rents in Indianapolis. My guess is he does rent in that city because he's only there for a portion of the year.
Now we're gonna go to the fun ones. All my old school cars. I bought a 72 Monte Carlo, a 72 Cutlass, an 86 T-top Monte Carlo.
I don't know old school cars that well. I don't know the value. I do get the sense that a lot of them hold value. So if you know cars, you can definitely comment on this in the comment section. I don't know these cars specifically. They look pretty cool. I did look them up. So this seems like a cool hobby, but it does seem like something you do after you've earned all the millions, like a Jay Leno type.
And now I have a 75 Caprice. I love classic cars. That's my dream, to have at least 20 classic cars.
Classic cars aren't wasted money in the sense that you're just buying a $30, $50, $100,000 car and it's gone. But what I don't understand about athletes is that in their early parts of their career, I think they should use the money to invest in something that brings cash to them or helps grow their investment portfolio. Stocks, bonds, real estate. Shoot, you could even buy businesses if you have ties to a really savvy business manager. And then after 3 or 4 years of your investments growing, then you could buy these cash based on, if you're buying real estate, you could use the cash flow to then buy these with cash, and then you have the asset and the car.
That's my ultimate goal, to have a great collection.
How much did all the rest of the cars add up to?
Whew. Now you say how much we have left? I ain't even know I spent that much.
That's a big problem. I don't even know I spent that much. That is the problem with athletes, is they're spending $1 million and don't know how much they're spending. To me, I would know every dollar. I'm basically an accountant. I keep track of every dollar I spend, especially when it's dealing with anything business related. And so for me, when I hear that, it really hurts my ears, because here you have a guy that hasn't really earned the millions yet, has a nice contract and is on his way to making a lot of money, but he's spent $1 million and doesn't even know how much he spent.
Need some more money for the rest of my cars. That takes me past $1 million.
$280,000 on cars. He could buy it just hurts my head to see how much he spent. I mean, that's cool. He likes it. And so he it's an expense. He lives, live your life, right? That's probably more important than investing. I just think it's better at the early part of your career to invest that money, wait 2 or 3 years, and then you can go buy the cars in cash.
I feel amazing. You know, I feel like a little kid, you know, just thinking about, you know, all the money that you spent.
Again, feeling amazing about all the money that you spent. As far as I know, none of these are really investments. Lakeview, South Carolina is a small area. Those houses are going to be worth whatever he puts into them. There's going to be no appreciation. I don't know about the cars. I mean, I'm sure the cars will hold value, but none of this was investing. It was all spending, which is kind of scary to me.
Some of them leisure, some of it, you know, for a good cause. So, I mean, I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I'm happy with what I spend my money on. The advice that I would give a rookie coming in.
It's funny that the advice, this is what I love about advice. You have a guy that just spent $1 million, in my opinion, recklessly. None of it was invested. And as far as I know, within the first 2 years of his time in the NFL, he's actually already spent all the money. So if he were to get injured, then he would be in trouble. Now, if we look at the Spot Track's got a cool thing about like market value. It looks like he's going to sign 4 years, $80 million. He's going to make more money than you can imagine. But these episodes are shining a light on people who are going to be a star. There are so many athletes like Darius who don't become a star, and that becomes the problem, where they earn 2 or 3 million, but they've already spent it, and then there's nothing left over for when their playing days are over. So it's kind of funny that it's like giving advice to the rookies coming up, but
buy what you need, but make sure you
I don't know if he's the right one to give it.
Be responsible with it, and you know, buy some land, buy something that way you can make a profit.
Again, buy some land. Land doesn't even bring in profit, especially in Lakeview, South Carolina. It's going to be worth, what he bought it for is going to be worth 50 years from now, because it's just not dirt that's in demand, and he's not buying anything that's really going to profit. So I'm kind of confused as to why he's like giving advice.
Just don't spend money and don't have no more money coming in.
Just don't spend money and have no more money. Yeah, it's good for him because he's going to be bringing money in the future, but that's not everyone, and that's why so many athletes go broke. Hope you enjoyed this. This was a good episode. I like Darius. He's a hard worker. He's an excellent player in the NFL. He was like an all-pro from his rookie season. He's one of the rocks of a good organization, the Colts. He's going to get a big payday. He's going to be fine. But I do hope that a lot of people watching this do not follow his advice, because not everyone is destined to earn $80 million and have that big payday. Thanks for watching.